Hi children, I'll be handling history, civics and geography for you. My name is Vimala Ramani. You know already. First chapter in history is tracing changes through 1,000 years. Okay, what all happened before 1,000 years? What all is happening after 1,000 years? Like 1,000 years means after 600 years or 700 years. What are all the changes made in the history? We are going to see in this lesson. Let me see what is given in the first page of your lesson. A map of the Indian subcontinent made by the famous Arab geographer is shown here, and another one is the map after 600 years. And the one who made the map for in 1154 CE is Arab geographer Al Idrish. Shows South India in the north and Sri Lanka at the top. But another map of the same area made by a French cartographer. Cartographer is the person who makes the map. In 1720 is quite different from what Al Idrish made. Historians have to be very careful when they use old things to study history because the method of making maps and texts differ from time to time and not everything written in the past was correct. This map seems very familiar to us and the coastal areas in particular are surprisingly detailed. This map was used by European sailors and merchants on their voyages. New and old terminologies. Historical records, languages, and the meaning of words change with the time. In the Mughal era, Hindustan was the most common term for India. In the 13th century, the term Hindustan was used by the Persians and Mughals to mean areas around the Indus River Valley in northwest India, like Punjab, Haryana, and the lands between the Ganga and the Yamuna rivers, but not South India. Baba also used the term Hindustan to explain the geographies and cultures of the subcontinent in the early 16th century, and that was similar to the way Amir Khusra, a famous poet, did it in the 14th century. Historians have to check the meanings of the terms and words they use as they change from time to time. For example, today we use the term foreigner to mean someone who is not an Indian, but in the medieval period it meant any stranger who was not a part of the society or culture. Historians and their sources. Historians rely upon old coins, inscriptions, and architecture and textual records for information for their studies. In the medieval period, gradually paper became widely available and cheaper. People started using it to write holy texts, chronicles of rulers, letters, and teachings of saints, petitions, and judicial records, and for registers of accounts and taxes. Manuscript provide a lot of information to historians. As you read in 6th standard, you know what is manuscripts. What all the scripts the government made was called as manuscripts. However, they are difficult to use as their manuscripts were handwritten. To know that the author had actually written, historians have to read different manuscript versions of the same text. This is a serious problem because we rarely find the original manuscript of the author today. We are totally dependent upon the copies made by later scribes. As a result, historians have to read different manuscript versions of the same text to guess what the author had originally written. It remained lots and large library collections. New social and political groups. The 1,000 year between 700 to 1750 was a period of large scale economic, political, social, and cultural changes. There were many developments in the technologies. For example, the Persians' wheel for irrigation, the spinning wheel for weaving, the powerful firearms for big fights were invented in that period. People who traveled in search of opportunities not only brought new ideas but also new foods and beverages with them. Many Rajputs became famous in India because the rise of Mughal Empire. Initially, the term only included sons of rulers, but later it also included soldiers and commanders. Marathas, Sikhs, Jats, Ahoms, and Kayasas also became important in the Indian subcontinent in that period. Many forests were cleared to make land for agriculture. Peasants became an important part of the society and started receiving help from the rulers if they paid taxes. Different groups of jatis and subcastes came into existence on the basis of occupation, and rules and regulations made by the Jati Panchayat were enforced by an assembly of elder people. The Cholas and the Mughals controlled many parts of India from Bengal to Afghanistan, and historians are still trying to find the reason why rulers kept claiming to have control over other religions. The Chola, Khilji, Tughlaqs, and Mughal dynasties built big empires known as pan religions. However, all those empires were not equally stable and often fought with each other. Mughal Empire declined and the British Raj became more powerful in India in the 18th century. With the decline of Mughal Empire, many small rulers and kingdoms came up across India, but almost all of them continued to be influenced and affected by the major changes happening across the Indian subcontinent. By this, we'll end the session today. Tomorrow, we'll see the next part of the lesson.